Hello, and welcome again to another edition of Astronomy Spotlight for April 2023. My name is Kirk Rosberg. I'm the planetarium coordinator here at the Hastings Museum. And this month we've got really two things we want to talk about. The first of which is the constellation of Boötes, which is very much identified with the spring sky, since we are now into spring, at least a little bit. And an easy way to find the constellation of Boötes, which probably isn't as well known as it really should be for being such an old constellation, but it does have one of the brightest stars in the sky within it. So that would be Arcturus. Arcturus is the fourth brightest star overall, and it is the second brightest star in the northern hemisphere. So let's start by finding Arcturus, and it's easy to do by using the Big Dipper. Now, instead of using, say, the two stars at the front of the Big Dipper's bowl, which you would use to find the North Star, we're actually going to use the handle of the Big Dipper. And as the old saying goes, follow the arc of the Big Dipper's handle to Arcturus. So here we go. First find the handle of the Big Dipper and then follow the arc to Arcturus. And you'll know Arcturus when you see it because it is a bright orange star. It is the only bright, obviously orange star really in the northern hemisphere, so it's pretty easy to pick out that way. So there is more to that little saying. The whole thing goes, follow the arc to Arcturus and drive a spike to Spica. And Spica is down there, right there. So basically, it's kind of almost a straight line down to Spica, the brightest star in the zodiacal constellation of Virgo, also identified, of course, with the spring sky. Now, once you have found Arcturus, look for the shape that Boötes makes. It is kind of like a kite. Let me turn on the lines for Boötes. There it is. So what does it look like to you? However it looks, that is probably the way you should remember it. Some people see it as a kite, which is the way I learned it, and still see it as a kite. Some people see it as an ice cream cone, especially in hot summer nights. The Greeks, however, saw Boötes as, well, let me just show it to you, as that. A man named Boötes. Boötes is the ox driver, or he is the guardian of the bear. Guardian of the bear. Which bear would that be? Well, of course, it would be Ursa Major, the Great Bear, which we're seeing 3/4 of right there. So that is follow the arc to Arcturus, drive a spike to Spica. And the constellation frequently identified with the beginning of spring, and that is Boötes, the ox driver, or the herdsman. Let me turn Boötes on one more time here very quickly. And I'm going to turn off Ursa Major, but you can see as he does sort of follow the bear around in the sky, at least until he sets. But also, he is accompanied by two hunting hounds, his hunting dogs. His hunting dogs are Canes Venetici. They are right there. No really bright stars in the hunting dogs, but they do accompany him across the sky as they follow Ursa Major around in the sky. All right, I'm going to turn all of those off. Now we're going to move to another part of the sky for the second part of our show. Now we're going to look westward for the planet Venus. Venus is actually the brightest planet in the night sky, so I don't think you'll have too much difficulty in spotting it. It is getting, well, relatively low in the west, but it's actually getting a little bit higher night by night. Currently, it is in the constellation of Taurus the Bull. And let's see, let me turn on Taurus the Bull, at least the lines of Taurus. There we go. It's sort of a V-shaped constellation of stars. And it kind of looks like Venus is kind of riding on the back of the bull. Let me turn on the artwork here very quickly. There we go. So find Venus first. Just look kind of up in the western sky, and then find the V-shaped cluster of stars called the Hyades in Taurus the Bull, and that will be the constellation of Taurus. And all through the month of April, for the entire month of April, Venus will be passing through Taurus. So some nights it's going to be very close to the Pleiades star cluster, which is what it looks like right now. That faint grouping of stars very close together, that is the Pleiades, or Seven Sisters. And it looks like right at this particular time, and this is the 12th of April, as we are looking at it now, at about 9:40 p.m. They are pretty close to each other, the Pleiades and Venus. But let's go forward, let's see, a few days to April 15th, and still relatively close to the Pleiades. And let's go further to the 20th. And now it's getting further away, getting closer to the Hyades, the V-shaped head of Taurus. And as we go along, say to the 25th, roughly the same time, and it's just moving further away from the Pleiades and further through Taurus the Bull. And of course, we also see the moon creeping into the sky as well in the constellation of Gemini. And let's move ahead to the 28th. All right, as you can see, still in Taurus the Bull. Let me turn on my lines again for Taurus. There we go. So still between the two horns of the bull is the planet Venus. All right, that is Astronomy Spotlight for April. Thank you for watching, and join me again next month.